Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Great show today. I enjoyed, visiting with all of our guests, and always enjoy visiting with my friends over there at the Rich Club, and they're regular contributors here on the program. And we've got Karen McClure, and she is on the board there at Rich Club. Plus, you're the vice president. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we're always glad to have you on. Who do you have for us as a guest today?
Well, today we have one of our business vendors, business members. His name is Blake Yarborough of Capital Concepts, and he's going to talk to us about a variety of subjects.
Great. Well, I'm going to let him introduce himself real quick, but why don't you also go ahead and give the overview of what Rich Club is all about and what you do for your members.
Oh, okay. We are a trade association, nonprofit, and we bring real estate investors together so that they can meet each other and network and basically learn from each other. So we also like to bring them in contact with businesses that have expertise in working with investors, and that's where Blake comes in. Awesome.
Blake, welcome to the program. You've been on before, but it's been a long time. Tell us a little bit. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Well, Capital Concepts is a mortgage company of mine I've had for 15 years, and I'm proud to say that considering the turbulent times we've had. But for the last 7 years, my niche has been, as Karen said, working with investors.
Yeah.
We do everything from hard money loans or rehab loans, some people call them, to conventional loans like every other street corner mortgage company, as well as when you're a real investor and have more than 10 properties. I also do bank portfolio lending. And Kevin, in the last, just to be honest, about 5 years ago when the market turned, I thought I was going to have to close down my mortgage company. So I started buying investment property. Before that I was a flipper and stuff like that. But, I think to be a real investor, you need to buy and hold. Mm-hmm. And what I did is I bought about 4 properties, November, December 2009, another 6 more between November, December 2008, 6 more February, April 2009, and 10 properties. And I was buying for cash flow because I needed to replace my income was what I was doing. And now I have 100 doors. I have about 90 rental units, and I've done it with my products. I put my money where my mouth is. I still close with hard money loans, roll them into blanket loans, and refinance them with the local banks.
Yep. So hey, Blake, just want to mention we got about 7 minutes total and a bunch of questions. So if you don't mind, I'm going to let Karen ask her first question.
You want to give us maybe an example of a deal that you've done and what kind of lending you used to make that work out?
Absolutely. Let's say somebody brings me a house. They're buying for, let's say, $65,000, and it needs $10,000 in repairs. In that example, that house with $10,000 repairs, let's say it's worth $100,000. Okay? Mm-hmm. We can do a hard money loan up to 75% of the fixed up value, not of the sales price, but of the fixed up value. So in this ideal world situation, we can finance the $65,000 purchase price plus $10,000 in repairs, $75,000 needed. We can finance 75% of the $175,000 for 100% loan to cost in that scenario. And so the borrowers, although they'll be out of pocket to buy and control a $100,000 asset, is let's say $5,000 closing cost.
Wow, people can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Tell us, kind of give us an overview of the products that you bring to investors.
Well, one of what I think most valuable things I bring to the table is my experience. But as far as products, like I mentioned, I'm a big fan of leverage. So being able to use that leverage in that loan program for a hard money lending, that's something I'm a fan of. Then we can immediately go to a conventional refi. There is no seasoning requirement for a Fannie Mae loan. So then we can get you the best rates of the world. And then, or some borrowers have a lot of cash and they want to pay cash for a property. There's a niche program not everybody knows about. It's called delayed financing exception. If you pay cash for a property, you can immediately take cash out for the amount you pay for the property plus closing cost, up to loan-to-value limitations, and you can do that all the way to your 10th finance property.
Wow.
And then the other things is Blake's blanket loans. I'm a fan of when you have more than 10 properties, rolling multiple properties into one note. And it's actually when you have a lot of properties, 20, 30, 40, it makes it a lot easier to make your payments, but less mortgages to pay. But that, and there's little nuances of each one, but for the most part, that's it. I have a wide assortment of conventional lending. I've got my hard money lending, and I've got my local bank portfolio loans.
I know you do commercial as well. You've got some apartments. Do you do any commercial lending?
Yeah, I do. And it's typically smaller commercial. When I say smaller, I mean less than $2 million. And, those numbers seem big, but in the commercial world, those are the little. So, absolutely. And there are a lot of the same lenders that I do my blanket mortgages with. That's why it was a natural progression for me to take that business on.
Blake, let me ask you, before the economy went weird 5 years ago, were most of your mortgages for individuals that were going to occupy a home? Or were you already heavily in the investment arena?
I was already doing it, but see, back then, we were able to get 100% financing on investment property. Now, the loans were bad and high rate loans and stuff like that. And then, we also could take investment loans to 90%, where now we're at 80%. So when the market changed, what we had to do is change our product. But yes, I was working mainly with investor loans at that time as well.
Yeah, very, very cool. Karen, final thought before we let Blake go?
Well, Blake is going to be one of our expert panels talking about the changes that have been going on in the mortgage industry at our next Rich Main event, which is coming up on November 2nd. It starts at 8 a.m. First-time guests are always free, and I hope people will join us. You can find all the details out at our webpage, richclub.org.
Yeah, sounds really good. Blake, your website?
My website is 4smartmoney.com. That's the number 4smartmoney.com.
4smartmoney.com. And, of course, Rich Club is richclub.org. Very good stuff. Blake, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And, Karen, always glad to see you.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right. When we're back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. Do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. Don't forget to check out our sister news website, US Daily Review, and have a great day on this station.